most important environmental issue facing us today is the issue of renewable energy. There are frankly a lot of environmental issues facing us, but renewable energy is one that I think that we can jump on top of and that we can capitalize on, quite frankly. We need to be a leader in this nation on utilizing basically our God-given resources here to turn the table and turn the tide on the issue of energy consumption and energy use. And we are uniquely poised in this state to capitalize on what we have available and utilize it as an economic base for economic stimulus in this state. We need to continue to incentivize. In a word, Oregon either needs to lead or get out of the way so that the people out there who, the great talent in this state, can move forward with a lot of the fresh ideas to get into solar, wind, biomass, to use those resources to generate not only jobs, but to generate good habits and to good living in the state.
There's a lot of environmental issues that are important in the state of Oregon, but for me personally, as a forester, the one that concerns me the most is the potential conversion of large blocks of forest land and rangeland, for that matter. This is a national trend that we see going on. I don't have the statistics, but it is quite large. And you know, with the misgivings that our land use system may have for some people, there's some good things about it too. And one is that it helps us try to keep those large blocks, especially urban forests, intact. And that's why in 2005, in my freshman term, I introduced and successfully passed perhaps the first of its kind in the nation, the Community Forest Authority Bill, which hopefully we'll be able to see actually bear some fruit here with Skyline Forest. And then last session, I co-sponsored with Representative Paul Holby, a member from across the aisle, the Forest Legacy Bill that allowed the state of Oregon for the first time to actually participate in the federal conservation program throughout the state. And also last year, I was a co-sponsor of Senate Bill 514, which establishes a property tax special assessment program for land subject to conservation easements. So I take that personal concern very seriously, and I try to do things that I think are constructive and help us move forward in trying to maintain these large blocks of resource land for all the values that they provide us, whether it's wildlife habitat, clean water, commodity products, etc. Thank you.
Yes, my feeling is the most important issue confronting the environmental community is land use planning. I think we have to review that entirely. It's been around for a number of years now, and we have to take a second look at it. And under this heading, I would put the destination resorts. I don't think all destination resorts are bad, but we have to look at where they're placed, how they're affecting the environment, and review the whole process of why we have them in the first place. So I put that as my number one concern. Another concern that I have is maintaining clean water and a clean environment. Up in my area, we're worried about nitrates getting into the aquifer. There's been a lot of controversy over that. That's a problem that has to be resolved. The thing is, the planning on this thing was poor, and you're requiring people all of a sudden to spend a lot of dollars on that they don't have. So that was poor planning. I think the state could have got more involved in this thing earlier rather than letting the county do it all alone, which they didn't do a very good job tackling that problem. So I would emphasize those points for the time being. Thank you very much.
Mike, I think the most important environmental issue I would put two: water and the fire danger. In a 2003 session, Representative Burley and I worked on a bill to look at the mitigation of the water in the Deschutes River. That was very important, and it was very difficult legislation, and we were able to do that to continue to protect the Deschutes River with the mitigation laws that we passed for that. Also, I'm proud to voted for the bills that Representative Burley talked about, and I think I was sponsoring at least one or two of those bills, but it was his leadership, and those were great bills for the environment. Living in South Deschutes County, Fire danger is probably our most important, dangerous issue that we face down there. I remember we moved to Sun River. We had all the Sun River houses had to have shake roofs, and someone finally figured out that was not the smart thing to do. So we changed that policy, and if you have to replace more than 30% of your roof, you have to do away with the shake roofs. We also started a ladder fuel reduction program that I hope I'll talk. I think my time's going to run out. But water, fire danger, and I think I've got a record of supporting those two environmental issues under Representative Burley's leadership in some of that.
Number one issue that we're facing as a state is this environmental issue, rather, is this energy crisis that we find ourselves in. We do have an opportunity here in Central Oregon. We are uniquely situated to tackle this problem. Definitely, we have local companies here who are working very hard on building solar, wind, and geothermal power. There's a company here that just started up working on a geothermal project here in Central Oregon on Newberry Crater. So I think we have opportunity here to really capitalize on some of those natural resources and at the same time address some of the state's other most pressing needs, including transportation and the economy. By building a sustainable economy through green-collar jobs and clean tech manufacturing, we have opportunity in this state to really be pioneers and to be at the forefront and really create the blueprint to have energy independence in this country. And so we have that opportunity here in Oregon, and I hope that we take it, because if we don't, somebody else will.